What is up, everybody? We are back at another garage gym workout. Today we're doing 100 Devils presses. I don't know how many S's we got there, but that's what we got today. Today, Flurry94 gets the comment response. He says, your belief is your belief, but do not have children or animals if you're not going to feed them correctly. All right, there, Flurry94. I understand my belief, but I think your beliefs are really the same as my beliefs. We don't want to harm and kill others if we don't have to. And so I think we believe the same thing. The only thing is that I'm not in contradiction. I'm not contributing to that and partaking in that and supporting those industries that do that. And I think that that's where you are. So it's not about feeding anybody correctly, right? Kids, I mean, it's about participating in things that you don't have to. You can eat other things. And if you are, I'm going to say ignorant, you just don't know that you actually can be strong and healthy and fit without eating any animals whatsoever. And dogs can too. There's a comment on my last post where there's VDog, there's actual US brands pass through, I'm going to say that it's supported by animal and veterinarians, where they basically prove out that dogs can be strong and healthy on 100% plant-based diet. And then that's what we feed them. We don't partake in industries where they ground up animals and think that that's actually dog food. So dogs don't need to partake in that. In fact, our dog lived long life, right? Over 13 years old. Like you got animals that are thriving on a plant-based diet. So it's not about feeding them correctly. Same thing with humans. Humans are dogs, omnivores. Even though we can eat meat, we don't have to. All right. So why partake in that? Flurry94, you believe it too, man. All of us believe that we don't want to harm others if we don't have to. There's no way. Why would we want to do that? All right, so yesterday went super heavy with 100. I think this is going to be 2 days where we're going to do 100 Devil's presses, just like that. 100 of these guys. All right, these are 10 pounds here. And I think I'm going to start doing 100 Devil's presses. 100. About 15s. And we're just actually going to, so I find a, wait, I think we can go. 15. All right, we're going to go. How's it looking?
It's a big bug.
Here's a workout for you today. 100 Devil's presses. Yeah. Here we go. 10 seconds. We're going to see how long it takes to get to 100. One. 2. Just going to get into a nice pace. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, there's 50, halfway, 530, 51, 52, 53. Heard a comment. What's up, man? Insects. 54. Yeah, I mean, 55. I mean, I don't, why would you want to eat insects? 56. 57. 58. 59. I mean, it's a delicacy in your country. 60. Just gonna try to get these on unbroken. Yeah, man. It's a religious ceremony to eat insects. Yeah, I mean, religion aside, nobody's mandating it. So we can't relate. I mean, I more understand what an animal goes through, and we're eating those day in and day out. But for sure, like, you know, an insect can't scream. We don't know. We can assume. I think at 66 or 65, 66, 67. So, you know, why do you want to? 68. You know, it's not a necessity. 69. And no religion mandates it. They're 70. So, like, no. 71. 72. 73. So, you don't want to be doing that. 74. 75. They put it in, you know, candy here. 76. Confectioner's glaze. 77. 78. They use like color from bugs. 79. But there's 80. I'm glad we agree. You know, I'd rather you eat insects than animals, but you don't have to do either. So don't eat. You don't want that. That doesn't appeal to you either. That's not good. And just because like it's a delicacy or you grew up that way doesn't mean that that's a good thing or that you have to partake in that to keep something alive. Quite literally, it's the opposite. Look at Thanksgiving. We kill millions of turkeys. There's 84. There's 85. So there's 86. You know, like, why not choose 87? A different option. 88. And I mean, insects might be one, but I'll show you a lot better plant-based recipes than insect ones. There's 90. You know? That's a good question. Have I ever killed an animal? I will say, I think I definitely hurt one. 91. I haven't went out and hunted. 2. We put our dog down last year. 3. So I wasn't directly kill her, but we made the decision. There's 94, 95. So 96, 97, 98, 99. Last one. 100. Under 12 minutes. 11:54. 100. Let me comment that. 11:54. These were 15. Almost unbroken. If I didn't respond to the comments, I could definitely get those unbroken. So we can get that, consistent 10 minutes. Right now, I was on pace for 11. I can get that under 10 with the 15 pounds. So gives us a baseline for the 100 we want to do. Again, I'm going to be doing 100 devil's presses consistently, different weights. We're going to get different times, and feel free to do it yourself. Somebody responded like, imagine how many you can do if you ate meat. Well, we're not going to find out. We don't even really want to imagine, but let me know how many you can do. Obviously, you eat animals. So, I've B, Andrew Tate. Look at Andrew Tate responding. What's up, Andrew Tate? My man. But back to Swamp Butt. Swamp Butt asked if I ever killed an animal. No, I mean, I ate animals for 30 years, over 30 years. I threw a baseball at one and was standing to hit a rabbit. I've killed rats. I've killed mice with traps. Absolutely, I've killed animals. Not, I'm going to say not anymore, since I've reconnected with the animals. And, if you don't have to kill and eat them, or if you don't have to kill them at all, you can find different ways. We catch and release mice right now. Rats, we catch and release. Any animal, we would catch and release. So, what made you switch to veganism? So we went 30 days. Appreciate the question, Andrew Tate. We went 30 days plant-based after watching What the Health, understood the health benefits, started to just think about it logically, what we were eating. We were already in a CrossFit, so we knew that they talked about the quality of ingredients, understand where your food comes from. But then when you completely switch it and say all your protein sources, what animal protein actually does to our bodies, it's not good. What cholesterol, what everything that comes from animals, you could talk about the good things that come from animal proteins and eating steaks and grass-fed beef, all of that, you can talk about it, but the negatives outweigh the benefits, just looking from the health aspects. Then we started learning about the animals, and then that's when it's like, oh man, we don't need to contribute to this at all. Like, why would we want our money to go towards funding what's happening to the animals if we don't have to? I understand if it was necessary, if we absolutely needed to, if our health depended on it, but actually it doesn't. And so it makes so much sense to go all in, 100% plants. You're going to find different plant foods. You're going to find different restaurants. You're going to order different things. It's a whole new world. And we're still learning. We're 8 years in, over 8 years in. And it's not about wish I would have went earlier. It's about, what we now know going forward and how we can help others, how we can share that message. And don't listen to me. You got to do the research, but understand we did all the research when we looked into it. And I want you to look into it yourself. There is a documentary called Dominion. Google it. Watch Dominion, or The Greatest Speech Ever by Gary Yavorski. He goes and talks to college. He does a speech for college students, and it's absolutely amazing, eye-opening, and you really cannot argue with anything that man says. And it's like, man, this just makes so much sense. And so I'm someone that I don't want to be wrong. And you look at the evidence, you look at actually what's happening, and it's like, oh my gosh, like it is wrong to be doing this. So I want to be on the right side of that. So many people are just not looking. They're just, not paying attention to it. But when you really look into it and when you really understand what's happening, you don't want to contribute to that. I appreciate it. Andrew Tate, man, I honestly, best thing we did, just keep learning. And I mean, like it's any which way you look at it, it's not going to, it's never going, we're never going to wake up and be like, oh man, what you were doing for the animals, or, that point of view of understanding, like you don't want it to happen to you. So why are you doing it, contributing to others if you don't have to? It is a basic question that if you actually look at and answer, you don't want to be part of that conversation. That's why people laugh. That's why they don't even talk about this. So, and with this shirt, with this message, anyone on the other side of this, you have to answer the question. You're not watching with anybody else. You're not, it's a question that you have to ask yourself. So that's it. All right, guys, got to head back. Great day today. 11:54. We're under 12 minutes. 100 Devils presses. We're going to get another 100 tomorrow. We'll see what weight we use. All right, guys. Peace.